I got a live thing. Yes. Got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. Hi, chat. Can you hear us, Hunter? Just making sure. Cool. Looking good, dude. We did it. Yes. What's up, everybody? It's Thursday, April 16th, and you're here with ConstantMTG. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Woo! I'm your host, Jared, and with me tonight is actually a very special person. He invented a color. The color is BS16D45, which is Scarab Beetle. It's a lovely shade of green. His name's Ian. Ian, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad that I'm getting credit for my color creation endeavors over the years. It's been a long journey, but I'm glad I finally made it.
Your your color theory reputation precedes you, sir. It's an
Well,
honor.
I was heavily inspired by the movie The Mummy
Yep.
with Brendan Fraser, and the quintessential introduction to The Rock in cinema, The Mummy 2. Just classics. The Scarabs really spoke to me. So I spent most of my adult life working on a color to represent my feelings.
I love The Mummy starring Rachel Weisz a lot.
hmm
And of course, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor was the best of the bunch. You know,
it is the best.
it's the
Um,
well, I
it's
have
really
to say,
good.
Ian, your hair is looking great tonight.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to hang as we always do weekly. I will say we're pretty impressed with ourselves. Zach, our head producer, is out this week. He's in chat, but he's not running the show. And somehow we managed to start the stream without everything falling apart, which is really good.
You missed Jared got to see the locked in technical things are going wrong version of me, which is far less pleasant than what you're getting right now on stream.
It's
My
it's just
computer
fun.
decided to freeze for the first time in its entire life,
Yeah,
just minutes before we were ready to go. But we're here, so we made
we're
it.
We did it. We did it.
We did
And
it.
we got a great show tonight. Hello to everybody in chat. I know Hunter's here. I know Zach is just tormenting us by being in chat and nowhere else.
hmm
Uh, Brendan Fraser is here. That's good. And I'm sure a lot of other folks are here too. Cheeser, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back.
Cheeser's here.
Cheeser. We got a great show tonight. We are going to talk about Festival in a Box. We've picked
Yep.
out our notable cards. I wouldn't say favorite, but just cards that stuck out to us, and we want to talk about them with you all.
hmm
So we've been talking about that in the secret layer, and we're deck teching what has become one of my favorite decks, a bit of a pet project of mine that started
hmm
out as, oh my god, I can make this deck really cheap, and it ended up being really powerful, and I ended up loving it so much. So we're gonna deck tech my birds deck. It's Azorius Birds. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. And then you will be able to see that Azorius Birds deck play in one of our upcoming episodes of Constant Misplays.
Yeah.
Did I forget anything, Ian?
I don't think you did. I think we got everything covered. We're gonna jump into the previews of the cards and our top five. We're going to demo them two different ways. So Jared picked five and I picked five. We did not connect at all on what
We
we
don't
were going
connect.
to both pick. And it's surprisingly, well, I mean, it's a lot of cards, so not surprisingly, but it was cool that neither of us picked the same card. So We'll probably just jump right in. We're going to go full screen constant lists for this section, just for the full effect of the site and what we're about to show. Also, this was a good stress test for the site, and you'll see why in just a second. So we'll kick it over to constant lists, and you'll still hear us chatting over the site.
Oh,
We're gonna go
going.
back. We're gonna go back here for a second. And we're gonna see what we can do here. Hmm. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. You're gonna see a black screen for a second. That's all. Oh, I think we're good. I think you can hear us now. Yeah, they should be able to hear us now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the deck is live. I got it going there. So everyone should see it in all of its 831 card glory, which spoiler, that is the stress test. We managed to make it 831 card deck in constant lists, which I did not think that was possible. So it's kind of nice to know that actually ended up working. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Well, Future Sight was a real set. It just never was out on any other sets after that. Yeah. 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 Some people are into it. I think there's some cards that look cool with it. Other cards, like I'm like, meh, whatever. Um, But yeah, I do like them. And some of the cards that they choose to put on them are just good cards anyways. Like foil is really cool. I actually was just looking at getting a copy of that, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, the set's cool. It's got just a lot of like old cards. Um, they can't hear you. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean that's probably fair if neither of us. I can't. Oh my God. Every time. One sec. One sec. One sec, everybody, as I work through technical difficulties and browser. Hey, there's Jared. Um, I know it was doubled up, everybody, so I'm trying to figure out how to get Jared back. Um, honestly, let me duplicate this. And we're going to do this and this and that and this and
And
that.
that.
Try
Try
again.
again. Hello.
There.
There.
Jared
Jared
should be
should be
there,
there. Can you hear me now?
hopefully. Yep,
Hopefully. And
should
then
be
you've got
good.
this browser source thing on the there you go. Hey,
Yeah,
it's cute faces.
it should be good. Should be good. We just kind of cheated to get it to work. So hopefully that's better. Jeez
Chat, can you
Louise.
hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear us freaking out?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that they maybe can hear us. Perhaps. Perhaps you can hear us. Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, Hunter says he can hear us now. Good. I
Great.
think we're rolling back. Uh
Perfect.
great.
Okay.
So I was explaining about Mystery Booster 2 and the list, and so I want
Yep.
to go through that quickly again, just in case our audio issues caused that to get lost in the shuffle. Mystery Booster 2 contains two things. It contains cards that have been reprinted into Mystery Booster 2 with special frames, as well as cards that are on Wizards of the Coast, the list. And so if you've ever seen that, that's a place where Wizards can reprint cards that aren't a part of any set in particular. Sometimes, a bonus card in a secret layer might be from the list. It's a list of several hundred cards, and so this is why you're looking at 800 plus cards for Mystery Booster 2. So it's a very
Hmm.
cool product. I think I said it before. I don't know if it got caught in the audio, but um, the Festival in a Box package is a great investment, or at least you get a lot of bang for your buck. Mystery Booster boxes are sitting at like $250 minimum right now.
Wow.
And you also get a secret layer and some promo cards with it, all for the price of $200. So I think this is one of the better buys. I think lately Commander decks have been the best buy. And some secret layers have turned out to be great purchases investment wise. But I do think this one is really fantastic. What about you, Ian? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good cards that get reprinted in these sets. And again, like some people dig the different art layout. Like there's the, you know, the quintessential Rebecca Gay Dark Ritual that's reprinted in the, you know, future site layout, which is really unique. You can't get that anywhere else. And there's just a lot of cards in here that are older and, you know, like probably haven't been reprinted much, if ever. So yeah, I was skimming the list and I was like, oh man, like I remember these cards from, you know, when I started playing Magic. There's like Portal stuff, and I think what else is cool about it is they retain the same set symbol. The only way to differentiate it really easily is there is a little planeswalker symbol at the bottom left corner of the card that indicates it's from the list set. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here for sure.
Should we start talking about our card picks?
Yeah, yeah, we can. Let me scroll forever to the bottom. Look at that Cabal Ritual. Man, looks so good. Okay, so we're gonna scroll. My computer's
Oh, that's a
screaming at me.
Kieran. That's a Kieran Yanner Cabal
Yeah,
ritual.
yeah, that's the
I'm I'm
OG.
I'm hoping to get like 5 or 6 Kieran Yanner cards signed in Vegas. That's the one that I will try to line up for. He's becoming one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, actually, that's not
Really
the
good.
OG. This is the there was a, oh man, it was like a promo set that they launched. I have this Cabal Ritual. It's like in a really pretty foil. It came out. I can't remember which set it came out. It was one of those like buy it. You know, you got like a few cards and they were like special foil versions. This was back at probably early 2010s or so. So all right.
Super cool.
Cool. So we're gonna go all the way to the bottom, and we're here. And Jared put his cards in the tech ideas section of his 840 card deck. So we're gonna start. We'll start with the first one, man. You want to tell us about Merchant Scroll?
Yeah, Merchant Scroll is 2 mana. It's search your library for a blue instant card, reveal that card, and put it into your hand and shuffle. Um, I picked this for a number of reasons. It's a classic card. I think it looks really cool in the future sight frame, and I also think it just happens to be a really useful card. It's basically a tutor for blue instants.
Hmm.
And I also picked it as a sort of subtle nod to you, my friend, my mono blue player. Um, so
Yeah,
um,
it's a tutor that I think a lot of people might not know exists. I think it was printed first in like Homelands or yeah, Homelands. And then they've reprinted it a couple of times. They printed it in 8th edition, and then they did a judge promo for it, kind of in the Ixalan years. So, you know, it's got like the pirate with like the fun little chart map. But it's kind of a sleeper. I don't think people really know this card exists as much as they should. And that's the price is also really low, I think maybe because of that. But if you're playing Blue Instance, you get to bring one to your hand, which is not always the case. A lot of times it's put it on the top of your library. So this is pretty good for 2 mana.
I do also want to call out that it is a sorcery. So
Hmm.
um, there is some sequencing stuff that you'll want to consider. Like it would obviously be amazing to tutor at instant speed, but I don't think they've ever done that. Probably never will. So
I
um,
mean, No, but not unless it's going on the top of your library.
Yeah.
But if
Yep.
you're in blue, there's a billion ways you could cheat that. You could just draw like immediately after that in some way.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
this is a good card though. If you don't, I don't even know if I might have one copy of this card. I think maybe, but it is a card that I think, if you're looking for more of a budget tutor and you're playing blue and you want instants, then it's worth buying. It's not super expensive.
Worth it. It's a good
Yep.
one.
All right.
All right, let's go to the
What's your
next one.
next one?
All right, the next one is Oracle of the Alpha. Now, I picked this one because it is interesting. I think it's an interesting crossover card, and I have questions actually, Ian, and who knows, we may not be the ones to answer them. But I believe this originally came out in Alchemy because Conjuring was
Hmm.
a an arena ability, and so actually the reason I picked this is because it's actually an arena only card that they've actually printed in paper. And so the first question is it even legal?
No. I would say no. If you're, well, I guess it depends on what format you're playing in.
Well, and
Um,
a would be the one to wonder about. Is it legal in Commander?
I think,
Because
listen, I think if you're playing it and you have I think the rule, and if I was in a pod, I think the rule for this card would be if you play the card, you have to have actual copies of the Power Nine. You can't proxy them. They have to be the actual copies of the Power Nine. Then you can play the card. Then you
no
can
way,
play the card. That's the
it's not
rule.
gonna happen. No,
Yeah. So then
no.
you're not playing it.
Oh God. Okay, so it is legal in Historic, Brawl, and Timeless. It is not legal in Commander, probably for the awkwardness that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Uh, but it is a cool card, and I think I am a hater of proxies. Sue me if you want, but this is the type of card that I actually believe you should be able to proxy, because to me this is a card. If you're
No.
playing the format that likes it, this is your way of playing Power Nine without having to buy Power Nine, because you would just
No.
run Power Nine otherwise, wouldn't you?
No. I
No.
mean, no. I'm not playing anybody that proxies to play this card. Not gonna
Okay,
happen. But
you heard it first.
Zach does bring up a good point that the acorn at the bottom center, where the foil, stamp usually is an acorn, which means it is only legal in cube. Um,
That's actually not 100% true. Zach, I relish the opportunity to correct you. Anything with an acorn is legal in cube and in a squirrel deck.
you're so dumb.
Those are the two
Your
things.
your blue squirrel deck only running this and original Power Nine.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I do remember, like, this card has popped off when Zach has played it during Rough Draft, which has been hilarious. Um, he's drawn into like Moxes, and I think he drew into a Black Lotus, and it was like this clip that, oh my God, it was nuts. So it's really cool. It's kind of, it's funny. But I, I don't know.
It's
I
also
would,
cool that they a paper printing, by the way.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like and
totally.
it's $153 for that reason. And
Yeah,
so that's why I picked it. I just thought it was an interesting card. It's supposed to be digital only. It's like getting a through the Omen Paths card printed, which I'm sure they will do a fair amount of at some point.
yeah, yep. It's cool. It's cool. All right,
All right.
let's move on
What
to
do
the
we got
next
next?
one. Hopefully, a card that you can actually play. Oh, this is a good one. Tell me about this one, dude.
Standstill.
Stand still.
How ironic is this one? Uh, Standstill is hilarious. I think it is a very fun card to play. Again, I love the art. I picked a lot of things because I just think the aesthetic's really cool. Great, sort of old school Renaissance style art on the future sight frame. Something about that just hits for me.
Hmm.
It's 2 mana, one in a blue. Whenever a play, it's an enchantment. Whenever a player casts a spell, sacrifice Standstill. If you do, each of that player's opponents draws 3 cards. And so this does create a very funny standstill or a standoff where you play it out and nobody wants to play a spell because they want to pick up 3 cards, or they don't want their opponents to pick up 3 cards. And so big fan of this. There's a lot of utility here. You could play it in the beginning of the game if your deck, relies on a slightly higher curve. So it's a kind of a curve adjuster in a way, gives you a little extra time.
Hmm.
You could play it late game in decks that can do lots of things with their mana that aren't spells. And I generally think it's just funny to stare down the rest of the table and be like, all right, who's going to crack the standstill?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people will be surprised at how much this actually works. Um, it's it definitely makes people think two or three more times about casting anything. Um, so it's actually pretty cool. I actually ran this card in my Nekisar deck, and it
Oh, that's a
does
good one.
work, dude. Does work.
I need to put it in Nekisar. So much
Mhm.
stuff has come out within the last several days that I want to put into Nekisar.
Hmm.
Which is funny because Nekisar is one of my pet decks, like Deadpool, that
Yeah.
people never want to play. They're like, I will not play you if you're using these
Well,
commanders, but I love them.
it's pretty funny when you play to Nekisar. You don't crack it. You don't crack it, but you do allow the board almost politically to decide who does crack it and wants other people on the table to take damage.
Yep. Yep.
Bonus points if you have Psychosis Crawler or anything in there that'll damage your opponents when you draw. But it's really good at Nekusar. It's almost like an auto include, I would say.
Yep. I need to get one. I'm hoping to. I bought 2 of the Festival in the boxes. We'll make sure to open a Mystery Booster 2 booster box on a special video.
Yep.
And I will give a shout out. I did pick this card because Clark Kibo, who is in the chat, he played that card on me and Zach in the first game we ever played with him, and it was hilarious. I mean, it was like the most hilarious sort of 3 or 4 turns of, who's on first.
Yep.
And so, subtle shout out, big fan.
Clark's the man.
Um, Clark's
If
the man,
you're in Austin, go to Card Traders of Austin. Um, Ask for Clark. He's just the best. Um,
the best.
yeah, that whole
All
shop
right.
is, I could spend all day there. My wife knows that. Actually, a funny story. I went there, it was like maybe a month ago, and my wife was like, "Oh, I'll go to TJ Maxx and like do some other stuff." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I won't be too long." And she ended up having to call the shop to get a hold of me because I wasn't feeling my phone go off.
No way, dude.
Yeah, she called the shop and like one of the guys at the counter was like, are you Ian?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, this lady on the phone just described you to a T and said that she's your wife and you need to pick up your phone."
Oh my
So
God.
I
Is
felt
that
like
not like a magic meme or what?
I felt like I was literally in grade school and like my parents,
Oh,
were like calling the shop to get me to come out to go home. It's like, oh my God, this is
so
I was like, man, check this off the list if you haven't had this happen to you before.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it was great. All right, let's move on.
Next one.
Next one's oh dude, I love this. I'm glad you picked this card. I didn't think you would pick this card, but I'm really glad you did.
So this card is, I wanted to talk about it because it's fringe, and I like fringe. This card, I actually didn't even know this card existed. I got to go back through my Tempest bulk
I
because I
have
bet you in
dude,
there.
I've got like 4 or 5 of these if you want one. For
It's
sure.
perfect in a landfall deck. It's Ghost Town. So it comes in untapped. You can use it for colorless mana right off the bat. So check there. No, the only downside is you can't use it for colored mana. And then for 0, you return Ghost Town to its owner's hand. Use this ability only during another player's turn. And I think there's a number of different things here, but the simplest one is landfall. If you want to hit that landfall trigger every turn, you can kind of put this back in your hand. as a safety, just in case you don't draw into the kind of normal land variety. So
Hmm.
that's like the maybe the most obvious use case for Ghost Town. What about you, Ian? Where do you see this card showing up?
Well, it's in similar scenarios. If there's any way that you can play the land again during your opponent's turns, that's always helpful. If you have like burgeoning or something like that, um, this could be crazy, honestly. If burgeoning was out, because burgeoning goes on the stack, you could return this to your hand and then respond to burgeoning by playing it. Um, it you could do some stuff with this for sure. And like worst case scenario, you can bring it back to your hand and just guarantee that on your turn you have a land drop.
Yep.
And that's super relevant. Um, Super relevant in a lot of decks. So it's really cool. It's just got a really unique ability. And again, like I see cards like this, honestly, all too often. Like it has never been reprinted up until now, and the
Yep.
Tempest printing is still, it's only like 450. And honestly, I would just have a copy to just have one to put in a deck and like experiment with and just have, again, like, we've talked about on stream, like I'm the person that wants to play cards that people are like, wait, what is that?
Yep.
This would definitely be one of those kind of cards. So
And
it's really cool.
I think with all of the land shenanigans and just the way that Magic is progressively adding redundancy to some of its themes and its archetypes,
Hmm.
I would speculate that this card goes up. As long as they keep it on the list and Tempest and don't reprint it again, I could see this being a good investment, picking up a few copies. Is it a common? What's the rarity on this thing?
Oh boy, the original copy. I couldn't tell you. We'd have to go to the research page. I think it might have been an uncommon. I don't think it was a rare.
I mean,
We can
that's
look though.
that's the point I was going to make is I don't think it's a rare.
Hmm.
And the cool thing about Mystery Booster 2 is there's actually quite a bit of value in the uncommons and commons, which you don't see in normal boosters, right? Like
Yeah, it's an
normal
uncommon.
you can pretty much toss everything except for the rares most of the time.
Yeah,
And so this got, there's a couple bucks worth of value there. So I'm hoping to pick up a couple in the box we open
yep,
and then go straight into another deck.
yep. It's an uncommon from Tempest. I just verified it.
Nice.
Yep. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. This one I really liked. I didn't know this card existed until you put it in here. So let's talk about it. Ancient Excavation.
Yeah, I'm the same. I didn't know this
Dude,
existed either.
this card
Why I
is
picked it
so
up.
good.
So good. It's a wheel. It's a demure wheel, basically, but it's got kind of a little bit of nuance that makes it kind of special. So it is 4 mana, 2 blue, black, and it says draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand, and then discard a card for each card drawn this way. And it also has basic land cycling, and I think that is more relevant than you would expect it to be. And so it's a weird kind of self wheel. I like the fact that you get to draw cards and then choose what to discard. And so yeah, I think this is great. I think it's a fun card. I'd never seen it before. It's worth 44 whopping cents,
Yeah,
and I could see putting this in a number of different decks. I
yeah.
you know 4 mana draw cards spells are typically pretty trash. But I think when you attach cycling or land cycling to a card like that, it goes up in value like exponentially because now all of a sudden it's never dead in your hand.
Well, yeah, it's added utility, and
Yep.
doing what it does at instant speed as well is pretty cool. It's like
Yep.
it's it's kind of like wheeling, but you get to choose, which I actually think is cooler. Like,
It's better. It is
like you
better.
said, like objectively, it's you draw all that, you draw 7 cards and then you have 14 and then you get to choose which 7 you discard. And like
Yep.
that could get you out of some, you could get the cards you want into your graveyard. You could get, you know, more cards that you need in your hand. It's pretty good. This could fit in a ton of decks. I was looking at this and I was like, man, I wonder, like I could put this in my Soul Tie version of my Gate deck. That did a lot of this kind of stuff, and actually, this does some of the stuff I was trying to do with that deck even better because you could just draw so much and then discard what you want. It's really good.
Yeah, I saw this and I immediately thought of Y'shtola, where my version of Y'shtola holds up quite a bit of mana, and has pricier counter spells because you're looking for spells that cost 3 or more. And so holding up 4 mana is very common in that deck, and being able to right before your turn kind of change
Yeah.
up your hand, and not even you could also just if you draw into a bunch of filth, you just get rid of it, pitch it. It's not
Yep. Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Zach brings up putting this in Muldrotha. Good lord. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
It'd be so good in
Yes.
Muldrotha for sure. For sure. Like
So chat, quick
this
question.
is
Oh, go.
only this is from two commander sets, which again, I'm so surprised I didn't know this existed. Two commander sets, it's under $1. I would buy a couple personally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Question for chat. Were you already on the ancient excavation train, or is this card new to you? I'm very curious.
Good question. We'll give
All
chat a
right.
minute to respond and then we'll pull up my
The next
list.
card.
Yeah.
Oh, was that all of them? Was that all
That's all
five?
of them, dude. Yeah, man.
Oh my god. We did
You
it.
just blew through them.
Wait,
Um,
I think that was only four. There's
no,
one more card I thought I put in here.
no. I mean, you put
Interesting. Okay.
Reclamation Sage up here, but no, that's
No.
just categorized a special way. Nope, you put five in, five
All
in,
right.
five out. All right,
I was
so for
considering the land that taps for colorless, and then it also taps to add any color, but you lose 3 life. So it's like a super talisman. And that was one.
mm,
I thought I
it's a
put it on there,
land.
but it's a land. Yeah. Yep.
Hold on. Ugh, okay. We're gonna group by type. Give it a minute to think. Sorceries, lands. Oh, good lord. Do you know what it was called?
No, I don't remember, but it was cool. I guess this is the. Oh, what's the?
The Tarnished Citadel? Yeah, Tarnished Citadel.
That's
That's
it.
the one.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's a
And
cool one.
again, I've been on a Y'shtola kick ever since we played it for misplays and deck teched it. I've
Yeah,
been really trying to think of ways to kind of get that deck churning a little faster. It's
yeah,
intimidating, but it doesn't really win as often as I'd like it to. So
yeah.
just kind of playing around.
Yo, this is a pricey card from Odyssey, but you can get the really bad art from Avatar for $5. And
Amazing.
this reprint is gonna be, at least it's slating in at about 550, which is pretty good.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, this is
Enough of
cool.
my stuff. Let's go to your cards. I'm
All right.
excited.
So I put my cards in the wish list section of Constant Lists, because I don't think we've shown it on stream, and I thought it would be a cool chance to do so, as well as show the cards I picked. So what we're gonna do here, because my wish list is fat with a capital PH, I'm gonna filter by set, and we're gonna grab Mystery Booster 2 only. Boop. And these are my five. And of
Hey, very.
course, all of my cards are jokey cards,
Oh, I love.
but I couldn't pass them up. So we'll just go left to right. The first one is Narad, the beige flower, which I thought was just hilarious because it's Darren or Doran, sorry, backwards. So it's a play, and you can actually see underneath it is an original copy of Doran that it was, pasted onto.
Oh,
Um,
and it's
so
he's the siege tower, and this is the beige
the
flower. So
beige
they just,
flower. Yeah.
yeah, they just
Yeah,
kind of, yeah, I
totally. It's
love it.
great. It's one color off of Doran. So Doran is
Actually,
Abzan.
Doran is Abzan, so
Yeah.
he's white. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they swapped the green out for blue. And it's a plant rogue, which is funny. Each creature assigns combat damage equal to its mana value rather than its power. That's just so fun.
Okay. You know what that goes with? It immediately makes me think of a card that I don't know when came out, people were like, "What do you do with this thing?" Scornful egotist. I know you know it, Ian, because you're a Morph player.
Scornful? No, I don't. Let me look it up.
Scornful egotist.
Oh my God, 8? Jeez Louise.
But he's just like a vanilla
Oh, he's
1/1
terrible.
that one
He's a
for
1/1
one.
for 8. What a dumb card. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly when you would play that card. It's
That's
so
exact.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's go back. Let me filter back. Mystery booster. Okay, the next one I thought you would like because I know you have a thing for Midnight Clock. So this is Rusco Clockmaker, and he's
Not
a
not only
3/3.
do I have yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
He's a 3/3 for 4. He's a human artificer. When Rusco Clockmaker enters the battlefield, conjure a card named Midnight Clock onto the battlefield. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an hour counter on each permanent you control named Midnight Clock. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is just so fun. Just so everyone knows, just imagine rolling up and you have just like a ton of Midnight Clocks, like, with your deck, just pulling them out, putting them out. You're blinking this dude because you're in blue, of course. And just so everyone knows, Midnight Clock is an artifact from, I think it was printed originally in Throne of Eldraine, yeah. Um, so it taps for 1 blue, which is cool. And then you can pay 3 to put an hour counter on it. And then at the beginning of each upkeep, you also put an hour counter on the artifact. When the 12th hour counter is put on it, you shuffle your hand and your graveyard into your library, and then you draw 7 cards and exile it. So you could just like, if you didn't do anything to like get rid of the guy, you could have like, 4 or 5 midnight clocks that are just like ticking down, and it's just stupid. It's just so
It's so
dumb.
good.
It's so
So
dumb.
here's the irony. I almost picked him. I was so close to picking him, and I sat there and considered brewing up a deck with that guy. If I get one out of my box, I'm gonna run him. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna make it for sure.
If you get two, send one my way because I just, dude, I would 100. I would not let you play the other card if you didn't have the power 9, but I would 100% let you play this because it's just
Yeah, but
so freaking funny.
is this one's not legal either, huh?
No, it's got the acorn, which I didn't know that rule either when I put these in here, but I just couldn't pass up these cards. They're just so fun. Like
So
if you actually played them, they would be hilarious.
and not overpowered either, but I guess it's just the conjuring. It's just that is a mechanic that's not for paper. So
Yeah, but it could be. That's kind of why I like these is I don't, Midnight Clock doesn't cost a lot. You could just buy like, 10 of them and just have them with your deck. And just if people are cool with it, you could just slap another Midnight Clock down every
yep.
time, and it's there. It's cool. I like it.
All right, next
Um,
one.
yeah, the next one is you can probably see a theme here of what I was into. Sanguine Brushstroke, which is a 3-drop enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you create a blood token and you conjure a card named Blood Artist onto the battlefield. So freaking cool. And then whenever you sacrifice a blood token, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I like this for multiple reasons. The art is incredible for starters. The mechanic itself of making a blood token and conjuring a blood artist just thematically is very cool. The
Yep.
artist is painting with
The
that.
ink and artist.
Hmm.
Yep.
And then I think blood tokens kind of got a bad rap. They were unfortunately printed in a set that a lot of people weren't huge fans of. But blood tokens are actually pretty cool, and I think in the right deck they can do some freaking work. I.e., Zach's mono red devotion deck. He's got
Yep.
some blood token nonsense that ends up happening. Just oops accidentally and this, creature gets super big. But it's really cool. And you blood artist whenever a blood token gets sacrificed. So I just like it. It's just thematically very cool. It also doesn't seem incredibly broken. It's in
No.
black. Like it does the black things that you would expect. You could lean into vampires and that's cool, but honestly, I would just run this in my 99 and just want it to happen and have some blood theme around it with some vampire stuff going on.
Yeah, if I could play that one, I would put it in my vampire deck. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, hope one day maybe they'll change their tune and bring in the conjure stuff and have some sort of method
yeah,
to do it.
yep.
All right,
The next
next
one is just I again like I just imagine rolling up with 20 copies of Lightning Bolt in to the side of your deck and playing this card. It's Toralf's Disciple. It's a 3 drop, two in a red. Human warrior that's a 3/3. It has haste, and whenever Toralf's Disciple attacks, conjure 4 cards named Lightning Bolt into your library, then shuffle. I just I want to live in a world where I can
lightning
play
tribal.
this and I can just put 20 lightning bolts into my deck and just that be now what I'm playing. That just sounds so ridiculous and so fun. Um that is 100% why I chose this card. It's just I imagine like let's just lean into like extra combat. Let's lean into as much as we can possibly do to get Toralf's Disciple attacking multiple times, and just take all the lightning bolts that I have that I don't have in decks and just put them into this deck and hope that I can actually get them shuffled in. That's my
Yep,
goal. That would be
I
my
love
goal.
it. I love it. Well, you know
Yeah,
what you're making me think of with these conjure cards is maybe we need to extend our token project, which is still we're working on it,
I think
and
so.
do a conjure collection. I think that would be very cool. I think people would be, pretty interested in that.
I think we
I don't know.
should. Listen, I think given the right pod, these cards aren't really,
They're not broke.
they're not broken. The next one kind of is, but we'll get to that in a second. But they're not overly broken. And they're fun. Like they're not doing anything super dumb or super crazy. It's just a different way of playing that I think it could be really fun. And again, like you wouldn't bring this to like a random group of people you never played with. Like this would be something you would agree on with, your friends and probably play in a pod that you're pretty good with and that it would be okay to play in.
It's perfect
Um,
in a pony pod.
yeah, yeah. And the last one, I couldn't. I actually went back and forth, and actually, Zach, I had Vancha in here originally, and the reason I had Vancha in, and I almost put, I think Titania in as well, is they were the freaking, they were like the oversized cards that they printed during like the Tempest era. I can't remember the
Oh
name of
yeah.
the set. Um, and I was actually when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, did they reprint Sliver Queen? They didn't. But yeah, it's that art set. Anyways, I had Vancha in here, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna lean into this because I couldn't look at this card and not say this with a game show voice, and it just made me actually laugh out loud. So on the count of three, Jared, we're gonna say the title of this card as if we're game show hosts. One,
Okay.
two, three. Who's
Who's
that
that praetor?
praetor? I just love it. It's so
I
great.
can't. I
It's so
can't.
great.
Oh,
It's a six colorless sorcery, which is also just really
so weird.
stupid. Uh I get it. I guess all these praetors cost six, maybe that's why. Um But you choose one at random and you create a token that's a copy of the chosen card. And you can create Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, Jin Gitaxis, Progress Tyrant, Shieldred the Apocalypse, gross, Urabrask, Heretic Praetor, Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, or everybody's favorite Praetor, which is Ebon Praetor, which is on the art of this card. And in case you don't know what Ebon Praetor is,
I don't know. I don't know this one.
oh, dude, Ebon Praetor's so terrible. So Ebon Praetor is a 6 drop 5/5. Um, and it is from Fallen Empires. Okay. It's $1. So you could buy this real easily. It has first strike and trample, which is weird. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a -2/-2 counter on this creature. And then you can sacrifice a creature to remove a -2/-2 counter from this creature. If the sacrificed creature was a thrall, put a +1/+0 counter on this creature. You can only activate this during your upkeep and only activate it once each turn.
Man, this is
So
a busted Praetor for
it's
sure.
so dumb. And the artwork is just incredible. It's so good. Look at this art. What is happening here? I might just go buy one. You know what, Clark? If you have one of these sitting around at card traders, put it on hold for me, and I will pick it up shortly. Um, what a
How much is
card!
the
It's a
buck, right?
dollar. It's a buck.
And it okay. Love it. Love it.
I have always wanted to make a thrall deck, because thralls are just this weird, creature type that nobody plays that has synergy in decks for some reason. Um, so maybe this is my push to do it.
Love it.
All right. So that's my stuff. We are at that time, I think, where we're going to actually go ahead and move into a very quick advertisement for our sponsor. And our sponsor, if you're not familiar, is Big Deck Energy Games. Big Deck Energy Games is an incredible game store out in Cathedral City, California. If you're not familiar with Cathedral City, California, it is in the Coachella Valley. There are a lot of things that happen out there. Primarily a very popular music festival that many people go to, as well as golf. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's right near Palm Springs, California, as well. And it's also very close to Joshua Tree National Park, which, if you haven't been to Joshua Tree National Park, it's beautiful. It's honestly one of the most breathtaking national parks, in my opinion, out there. There's just so much to it. And what better thing to do in a beautiful national park than to play some Magic? Um, we're great. Big Deck Energy was gracious enough to take us on and sponsor us, and we're so thankful for the support they provided us. Their way of running a shop really aligns with our way of playing the game, of participating in the community. They just love their players. They love the people that come into their two doors and choose to play games with them. And we take a very similar approach with how we do things here too. So, thank you, Big Deck Energy Games, for your sponsorship. And if you're in California, check them out. And also check out their website at bdegameshop.com, right there at the bottom of the advert. And now, without further ado, we're going to go into Deck Tech.
They're very long, but he made
Oh,
a
yeah.
very quick appearance. Come here, Carl. Come
All
here.
right. Well, this is a
Here.
little better than it was. Let me fix uh the whatchamacallit, the site. There we go. Got there. Sorry. Multitasking. So while I'm getting this loaded up, there we go. Um, Jared, walk us through what we're playing tonight. What do you got going on in those decks of yours?
That crazy mind of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we have got my Azurius Birds deck because all Birds decks are Azurius. This one just happens to be green and black for whatever reason. And it is Rendmaw the Creaking Nest. And so Rendmaw is a 5/5 Menace Reach for 5 mana. He's 3 black and green. And he says when he enters, and whenever you play a card with 2 or more card types, each player creates a tapped 2/2 black bird creature token with flying. The tokens are goaded for the rest of the game, so they have to attack, and they can only attack other people besides you until your head's up, and then the goaded thing kind of goes away. Um, this is a I don't know what got me interested in Renmaw. I think I've always poo-pooed bird decks, and something about making a spooky Halloween Alfred Hitchcock not Azurius bird deck really appealed to me. And so I put this one together. I also realized that this deck archetype is very cheap. You can make a Renmaw deck that's extremely potent for very little money because you just jam a ton of two typal cards into the deck. Every artifact creature is going to trigger Rend Maw. Anything that is two types, like a land creature or a land enchantment or an enchantment creature, all of that stuff is going to trigger Rend Maw. The only thing to kind of urge some caution on is you have to play the card. So you can't use reanimate to bring something back from the graveyard. That won't work. You actually have to play the card, which is casting a spell or playing a land. So just be cautious if you decide to build them.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to you. I think it's a great deck. I will be taking this to Vegas because it's a real fun time.
Yeah, I've played it a couple times. The first time I played it, I did steal Renma for the better part, actually almost the entire game that we played. So that was fun, but
Yep.
it is a very cool deck. And it's also, like you said, you can definitely lean in heavily cost wise here, but you can also play this on the cheap and it's going to be pretty good. Like, no questions asked.
Yep. And the other thing I'll say is this deck doesn't have to have the perfect cards in it. So I've got a lot of cards I would cut and not feel weird about.
Hmm.
It's very replaceable. There's a lot of fun things you can put in here. I've got some aristocrat synergy for when the birds die. I've got a ton of artifacts that tap for mana and things to help me ramp. It feels like a very balanced deck. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is the land package because there's not a ton going on here in this first pile. These are our sort of just standard lands. And so
Hmm.
we're going to roll through them real quick. And you're just going to see I've chosen art. There's a Temple of a False God and a Bajuka Bog. But really, nothing here is going to be surprising. There is a Reliquary Tower because this deck does have some ways to draw a zillion cards. And I kind of stuck to the art theme of Halloween. I think I made this deck for our Halloween event that we host every year.
You
And so
did. That's right.
I tried to make it as Halloween specific as I could. Westvale Abbey, I forgot that was in there, but that's a fun one. You got a bunch of birds, you can sack them to make a demon. Shout outs to the Dracula Forest. Um, so again, it's a 2-color deck. You don't have to spend much money to be sort of mana efficient in this deck. It's quite good. Um, Now, there are a few more cards or a few more lands that I do want to highlight because they are 2 types. So they trigger Rendmaw for free, which is
Hmm.
amazing. It feels really, really good to get a Rendmaw trigger for free. So Valgavoth's Lair, that one is an enchantment land. You choose a color, you can add 1 mana of that chosen color. Darksteel Citadel and the rest of the artifact lands that go in here are 2 types. They're artifacts and lands, so they work. Dryad Arbor is a creature
Oh,
land, so
yep. Hold
types.
on. Got to go to
Uh,
creatures for that one. Dryad
oh, is it?
Arbor. Yeah,
Yep,
it's
Dryad
actually in
Arbor.
the creature list. Yep.
Yep. Tree of Tales is an artifact land. Urza's Saga is an enchantment land. Vault of Whispers, Dark Moss Bridge, and then uh, Vasuva, which just copies any of those lands. So it's just kind of a sneaky way to get another trigger in there.
Oh
I am
yeah.
always on the lookout for more two-typal lands. There's a few of them. There's one in Murders of Karlov Manor that I need to get a hold of. Again, nothing expensive, but any ways that you can cheat out two-type cards like through a land is huge in this deck.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before we go to the next pile, Hunter asked, "What is that play mat art?" This is the Kiss from RK Post, and this is I know her name. The character is the same character that's on the Unmask MTG card from
Oh yeah. Yeah. I forget her
Volrath
name,
storyline.
but it's Volrath. Spoiler.
Yep.
Sorry. Whoops.
Yeah, and the smoke that is going into her, you can kind of see the face over here is Volrath. All right, so the next stack is going to continue our two-typal cards, but these are all the non-land two-typal cards. And so we've got quite a few of them. We'll start with artifacts. This is a recent add to this deck. It's a Furdock core. It is a
Mm.
kindred artifact, so it hits the two types. It is changeling, so it counts as a bird, which doesn't really matter very much. We like it mostly because it's a mana rock and because it's two types. Add one mana of any color, and then you could change it into a 4/4 artifact creature until end of turn.
This won me a game at Lorwyn Draft for pre-release.
Really?
Yep, 100%. This card is really cool. I love manlands and this or I love things that do this kind of thing. Sorry, this isn't
Yeah.
a manland, but things that can turn into a creature and a 4/4 at instant speed in a draft is not nothing. So yeah, this definitely won me a game. Hmm.
It's very good, and it just fits the theme. Again, you can just smash a bunch of two type stuff in your deck and be okay. Just look for every mechanism you could find. We have the mirror. So there is the leaden mirror, which is the one that taps for black. Palladium mirror, which taps for two colorless, and copper mirror, which taps for a green. We also have a couple more mana dorks. We've got Twitching Doll, which I think fits the Halloween theme of this deck so well.
I
And I love
love
this card.
I
It's
love
so good.
Twitching Dolls so much. When that got spoiled, even though Duskmorn was kind of a, again, a set that I think a lot of people weren't a huge fan of, this card was awesome. Like I
Yes.
just love this card so much. I have
It's so
also,
playable.
yeah, I've also seen it explode for a lot of spiders before, and that's awesome.
Yep. So for those that aren't familiar, it is a mana dork. It taps for any mana, but you get to put a nest counter on it, and then you can tap it and sacrifice the creature, and a bunch of 2/2 green spider creature tokens with reach pop out of the doll. So it's just flavor. It's flavor rich. I mean, it's just a great little spooky Halloween card.
Buff it up,
Move.
dude. Put some 1/1 counters on it and make it
Get it.
explode
Get it.
explode with spiders. It's great.
Yep. Okay, we've also got Ornithopter of Paradise, which is a two mana dork, and so that gives us the kind of ramp we need. That's kind of the ramp package. We've got Tanuki Transplanter. Whenever it or an equipped creature attacks, add an amount of mana equal to its power, green mana. Until end of turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end. So this is another kind of like a ramp piece. It's one
Hmm.
of the equipment creatures, so you can equip it
Mm.
to a creature, and then when it falls off, it's still a creature. So cool card for 4 mana. Again, sometimes you could just skip the text on these cards. There's just they're multiple types. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Haywire Might is
Oh,
1 mana, so nice and cheap.
I love
Uh,
this card.
it's a great card.
Hey,
It really. It should go in a lot of places.
Zach, you need this in Muldrotha because it counts as an artifact or a creature, so you can play it twice in a turn and exile artifacts and enchantments twice a turn.
Yeah.
It's really good, really, really good.
Yucky. So when it dies, you gain 2 life. It's a little 1/1 for one. You can pay a forest and sacrifice it to exile target non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, got some great versatility to it. Patchwork Beastie is a 3/3 for one that can attack and block only if you have Delirium, which is having 4 card types in your graveyard, which is extremely easy to do. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill a card, and that's helpful.
That's cool.
Yeah. Foundry Inspector, 3 mana, 3/2 artifact spells cost 1 less to cast. Renmaw is an artifact. As you can see, we've got a ton of artifacts in this deck, especially artifact creatures. So just a nice way to get more birds out, 2 typo cards on the cheap. Junk Diver, whenever it dies, it returns an artifact card from your graveyard. You just use it to get more birds. More birds. Why not? One of my favorite Kaladesh cards seems underpowered now, but back when Kaladesh came out, Noxious Gearhulk was pretty darn good.
It's
Four
good.
black, black, menace, 5/4. And when it enters, you can destroy a target creature and gain life equal to its toughness. So I like that.
It's good for sure.
Yep, nothing wrong with that one.
With
We're
Menace
almost to the
too.
end of.
Menace isn't
Yeah,
nothing.
it's not nothing. We're almost done with artifacts here. We've got Wicker Folk Thresher. Again, kind of spooky themed. It's a 4 mana 5/4, and if you have Delirium, so again you have 4 card types in your graveyard. When it attacks, you get to look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you get to put it on the battlefield, and if you don't put it into the battlefield, you put it into your hand. So it draws you cards. It does the thing. It's great. All right. Solemn Simulacrum. This deck is a solemn deck for sure. This card has gotten progressively worse over time. It used to be incredible. I'm still a fan. And in this deck, it's really great. Helps you ramp, or at least it helps you get land. No, you do get to put it into the battlefield. So it ramps you, and then it draws you a card on the way out. So that's pretty good.
There are so
Uh,
many good printings of this card now. I remember when it was just
and,
the really fugly ones.
yep.
And oh, that's right. There's a printing of this from the dude that does like all the Metal Gear Solid game art.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
it's only $20. That's not too
Not
bad.
bad.
All right.
Not bad. We also have Ornithopter in here. It's a 0 mana, 2 type card. So that's where it goes. And then last but not least, on the artifact side of things, Osseous Stick Twister. It's got lifelink, it's got delirium. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 4 more card types among card types in your graveyard, each opponent may sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. And then Osseous Stick Twister deals damage equal to its power to each opponent who didn't sacrifice a permanent or discard
Mm, okay.
card.
Oh, and
It's
it's got
cheap.
lifelink too.
It's got lifelink, yeah. So it's a 2 mana 2/2 gets you a bird. Um, and one thing I should just call out about these birds is there's an interesting turn order thing that happens when you're playing Renmaw because the birds come into play tapped. And so there's sort of an odd, you can, depending on who you're sitting next to, there's some ways that the game can unfold just by virtue of the birds coming into play tapped. You can't ever really block with them. Um, they're just, they're sort of a strange nuisance in that way. So just calling that out, just
Yeah.
reminding you those birds that have to attack every turn and have to attack everybody else except for you, they're coming into play tapped, so they're never going to be able to block. Your opponents are never going to be able to like do one of these like political exchanges where it's like, all right, I'll attack you with my birds, you block with your birds, and we can sort of put this whole bird thing to rest. All right. Next, we're going to get to enchantment 2 type
Okay.
cards. So this is one of the more expensive ones, Enduring Tenacity. It comes from a very cool cycle from Duskmourn. It's an enchantment creature, Snake Glimmer, and it costs 2 black, and it is a 4/3. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And whenever it dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. So 2 types, and there's some life gain stuff in here, so it kind of does the job, but it basically never dies, so it's pretty cool. All right, Courser of Crufix is in here, 1 green. You get to play with the top card of your library revealed, which is nice, and you can play lands from the top card of your library. And then whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Again, the utility here is being able to reveal the top card of your library and play lands off of it. Get you dig down and find your next 2-type card. Fear of the Dark, another cool Duskmourn one. It's a 5 mana, 4 and a black. Whenever Fear of the Dark attacks, if defending player controls no Glimmer creatures, it gains Menace and Death Touch until end of turn, and it's a 5/5. So he's just a big beater. Let's see. Next up, Whip of Erebos. I don't know. People
Yes.
hate this word.
I
They
hate this.
really hate. Yeah. So it's a legendary enchantment artifact. Creatures you control have lifelink. You can pretty much stop there. But for 2 black and a tap, you can return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. You can exile it at the beginning of next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead, and basically activate only as a sorcery. Call out here that ability of returning things does not interact with Renmaw because you're not playing the card.
Yep.
There's some utility here, but it is important to remember when you're playing something versus having it enter under different conditions. All right, how we doing, Ian?
Good. Good.
All right. All right, let's keep it cruising. Demon of Fate's Design is 6 mana, 4 black, flying trample. It's a demon, so it's got flample. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an enchantment spell by paying life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost, sort of like a Bolas Citadel kind of vibe. And then for 2 and a black, sacrifice another enchantment, and the demon gets +X+0, where X is the sacrificed enchantment's mana value. And so this one again, it's sort of a ramp card. It lets you play a couple more 2-typal cards, and you're spending life instead of mana. So that one comes in handy. This is a funny Bitter Blossom deck because it's not as much about getting the fairies out every turn. It's that it's a kindred enchantment. So it's 2 types. So it is an expensive 2 mana 2-type card. But I will say this, at the beginning of your upkeep, like creating a blocker that flies, I mean, there's a reason this card is so well known and so famous. It's quite good. It's, people underrate it.
Yeah, it is good. And the art is really cool on the one you have. What is that? Which secret layer is that from?
That is from the Everyone is Welcome secret deck.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't
Everybody.
seen that one.
Yeah, that one's really good. I think I don't it's a pretty costly one. It's one of the more expensive cards in that
It's
deck.
47 bucks as I see
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
very cool.
Um, Next, we have Eidolon of Blossoms, and this has a constellation ability. Constellation is whenever it or an enchantment comes into play, something happens. And this one is spectacular. It's draw a card. So play enchantments, draw
Hmm.
cards. That's exactly what we want to do.
It's good.
Um, Next, we've got the Overlord of the Haunt Woods, another fairly pricey little Duskmourn cards, 3 green. It has impending 4, so you could pay a cheaper cost. In this case, it's 3, and it basically has time counters on it, and you remove them, and then once you're done with the time counters, you get to cast it. Really, we do it because of this next clause here. Whenever Overlord of the Hauntwoods enters or attacks, create a tapped colorless land token named Everywhere that is every basic land type. Again, it's giving us extra access to mana. That's the whole name of the game here. Next, we have one of the summons. It's our only summon from Final Fantasy, but you could load up on summons. Just play a bunch of the green and black ones because they are enchantment creatures.
Hmm.
This one, Fenrir, it's really the first ability that we're excited about, which lets you go and ramp. Go find a basic land card, put it into the battlefield. The next two are fine. They're fine. The second lore counter is whenever you cast a creature spell this turn, that creature enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. We don't really care. And then the last and final lore counter or page in the saga is draw a card if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for greatest power. Um,
Hmm.
and we're not playing into that. Like if it happens, great, but we're not like trying to nudge that to happen. So that card could come out for sure. We've got Nightmare Shepherd. This card is never coming
Oof.
out. It's so busted.
Oof. Yeah.
Uh, it's 2 black black. It's an enchantment creature demon. It's got flying. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of the creature, except it's a 1/1 and it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Yet again, the token that comes in does not trigger Renmaw, so that's a nuance, but it's still fantastic. All right. Enduring Vitality is 1 green. This one is really good. Creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color, and when it dies, if it was a creature, you get to return it to the battlefield under your control as an enchantment. And so there are a couple of ways in this deck. You actually, as the person piloting Renmaw, oftentimes you want to use your birds for other things before your combat step
Hmm.
so that you don't have to attack with them. Because when everybody's attacking each other, you don't want to add insult to injury. You sort of want to stand back and watch a little bit. And so there's a bit of a package here of ways to use the birds that avoids you having to attack somebody directly. And so being able to tap them for mana is probably the best version of this. Sacrificing them for cards is another one that we commonly do. Here's one of our game winners. Demolisher Spawn, 5 green. It's trample, haste, 7/7. Whenever it attacks, if there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, other attacking creatures get +4/+4 until end of turn. So not only is it a hasty trample 7/7, but it makes all of your birds into 6/6 flyers until end of turn. And if you're trying to visualize how this deck might consistently work, you're usually looking at 4 to 6 birds on everybody's board at any given time once you're rolling up. It can certainly be a lot more than that, but it's oftentimes not, a lot less. And so having, 4 to 6, 6/6 flying birds plus a 7/7 trample haste on the ground is typically a game ender.
Yeah. It's not nothing. That's for sure.
Not nothing. It's our Craterhoof Behemoth essentially.
Hmm.
Um, I love this card. I played this card in limited and standard. It doesn't get enough love, if you ask me. It's Shigeki. Shigeki is a 2 mana legendary enchantment creature. You can channel it. And so this is interesting. Its channel cost is XX green. Discard Shigeki, return X target non legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. And it also has 1 and a green, return Shigeki to its owner's hand, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may
Hmm.
put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped, put the rest into your graveyard. So Shigeki is a weird card. You can play it out as a creature and then
Yep.
continue to return it to your hand over and over and then replay it over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
Um, and it,
It's
it
really
ramps
good.
you, gets you birds. But that channel ability is not nothing. There have been plenty of instances where I can X at 3, so it would be 8 mana, and pick up 3 artifact cards from the graveyard or enchantment cards or whatever, and get a bunch more birds.
Yeah, because it's just non-legendary cards, so you could even grab lands if you needed them. Yeah, he's
Yep,
good. He's good.
he's very good. Clark says he runs them in big mana decks. Yeah, Yeah, he's a great card. He's a little slow. You're kind of alternating turns with him, but I do really like him.
Man,
We also
I might put him into I might think of putting him into my gate deck. He's really good.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. That's actually perfect because it's just revealing cards until you hit a land, right? Or revealing top four cards.
It's
Yeah,
a land card, and that's relevant in the gate deck because I
of
want any
course.
land option.
Yep,
Interesting. The only thing is
a good one.
he's got to live a turn if you don't have haste on him because you
He's
have
got
to
to live it.
activate his ability, or you could obviously channel him, but yeah, okay,
Two more tribal cards. This one's funny. This one's two and a black, destroy target non-elf creature, but it is a tribal instant, so it counts as two types. So it gets you a bird. And then Lignify is a kindred enchantment. It's a tree folk aura, and it's awful, and people hate it. Enchanted creature is a tree folk with base power and toughness 0/4 and loses all abilities. Use it to shut down commanders that are threatening. So that is how many cards do we have here? One, two.
You also didn't mention her. You put her down, but didn't bring her up. But Arasta of the Endless Web, you put down. Arasta's great.
Rasta is
Um,
very good.
Reach 3/5 for 4, and then whenever an opponent casts any instant or sorcery, you create a 1/2 spider. It's really good.
Yep. So I just counted that pile, 32 cards that fit the two type archetype, which if you're looking at game plan cards, that feels really good. And I
Yep.
still think there's room to grow. There's still things in this deck that I would consider cutting to
Yep.
put in more two type cards. So keep that in mind. I will say this: I did add a new card from Strixhaven into this deck. So this deck is running at 99 until this weekend. And so, Ian, I was going to have you pull that up. It's one of the
Yeah.
cauldron, and it's an
Cauldron of
artifact.
Essence. Yeah.
Cauldron of Essence. Let's start there on the non two typal cards because I think this one's really good. Cauldron of Essence is one black green. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses one life and you gain a life. And then for one black green, you could sacrifice a creature to return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Again, we want to not use our birds until we're ready to kill people. And so being able to sacrifice those birds before they have to attack, before you're on people's radar, really nice. Returning cards from the graveyard to the battlefield, especially those big, like the Demolisher is a great target for this.
Hmm.
Really, really good. But it also has sort of the aristocrat's clause. So even if you
Yep.
get rid of the sacrifice a creature ability, it's just a 3 mana. Whenever a creature you control dies, drain the table basically.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. It's really
so,
good.
so that's one of our themes. And we'll get back to that theme in just a bit, but I wanted to start off with two of the most powerful cards in this deck that aren't expensive, which is great. Culling Ritual is the first one.
Oh, dude.
Culling Ritual is so good in this deck. It's so gross. It's our board wipe. It's two black green. Destroy each non land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Add black or green for each permanent destroyed this way. All of the birds are tokens, so their mana value is 0. So this is a way for you to wipe out the birds on the table if things get out of hand, or if you're heads up with your opponent and now they can attack you with them. Just clear the air. Clear the air, get them out of the way. This is a very potent card. As soon as you draw this is like a turn one Soul Ring. You get so excited about Culling Ritual.
Yeah. When you resolve a Culling Ritual and get like 18 mana from it, because it wipes all your opponent's treasures and all their food and all their blood tokens and their creature tokens, like it feels really good. Really, really good.
I mean, it hits all the signets and soul rings, all of that. I mean, it's just so gross. Okay, second one. This is one you haven't seen. Well, I think most people in the stream probably haven't seen it. It's my buddy, the Pygmy Kavu. Kavu Tribal, anybody? Pygmy Kavu is 3 in a forest. It's a 1/2. He's a big guy. When he comes into play, draw a card for each black creature your opponents control. Again, most of the time, your opponents are going to have 4 to 6 birds, and you're drawing 10 plus cards almost every single time with the Pygmy Kavu. So
I love
it's
this
a
so much. This
it's so
is
good, and it's like
just so
it's
good.
worth nothing. It's worth like like pennies. But it's amazing. It's amazing in here. Go ahead, Ian.
This is like cool deck building, just in a card in your deck. It's so smart. I just love that you have this in here. Because where else would you play this? Like, there's not a deck that, I mean, you could play it in a lot of decks and maybe get a couple cards off of it, or luckily, your one guy in your pod's gonna play Gisa and make a bunch of zombies all the time, so you just have this in for the meta. But like, this card actually belongs in your deck and has a purpose that is consistent and will happen. Uh,
Yep.
no questions asked. It is really cool.
It's a good one. It is this is the kind of thing that makes me excited about, this decks in
Well,
general. That
and
we talked about it. The cards that are useless in every other place except for this one, it's a banger here.
yeah, and you have, like, we've already gone through a few cards here that you have recursion built in, and you could bring this back with Whip of Erebos. You could bring it back with the Cauldron that we just went over. Um, and there you go. There's another 6 cards, 10 cards that you get. It's yeah, this is really cool. I forgot you have this in here, so I'm just having a moment. It's really cool.
Thanks, man. All right, let's keep it going. The Pygmy Kavu MVP. He's amazing.
Actually,
Um,
let me put that in my wish list.
get him.
Oop. Okay.
All right, next we've got our sort of aristocrats package. This is a way to close out the game. Again, the way this typically goes is because everybody is synergistically getting birds and they're attacking each other, life totals tend to go down in a very symmetrical way. And so, you want to keep it that way. You want, when you go heads up with the last opponent at the table, you want them dead before they can blink. And so you want to just keep everything sort of even Stevens until you get to the very end. And then you're just going to pick off your opponents. You don't want to get into a spot where you're going heads up with an opponent at 30 life. That is the worst thing for this deck. You want to go heads up with an opponent, uh, on your, like, you want to kill the last 2 people simultaneously on your turn, or you want it to be your turn. You want to immediately close out the game. And so Aristocrats kind of helps bring that synergy of life total so that everybody is sort of grinding down at the same speed. So we got a few ways to do it. We've got Mirkwood Bats. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses a life. And it's a 4 mana, 2/3 flyer. You've got Sir Conrad, which is, we all know Sir Conrad. He's amazing. Whenever another creature dies, or when a creature card is put into the graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And you can pump a bunch of mana in to have people mill cards and drain them that way.
Okay.
Each mill is 1 in a black. So 1 in a black, each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. And you'll notice that, there were a few other mill cards in there. There's the Clockwork Beastie, I think is his name, that at the beginning of your upkeep you can mill. And so there's just like little, every once in a while you hit some like little mill synergies, but Conrad kind of does it on his own. You don't have to work for it. So he's very good. Zulaport Cutthroat is in here. 1 in a black. He's a 1/1. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. We've got the Enduring Tenacity that allows you to, when you gain life, opponents lose life. And so there's a little life gain there. And then Blood Artist is actually important here, because Blood Artist is target player. So it's whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses life and you gain a life. This is an equalizer. So this helps you get the whole gang back to having very similar life total. So you use it to adjust If there's an outlier, you can adjust them down, is basically how you would do that. All right. Next two cards, these can be replaced with anything. I thought Tavesh was a cool card and looked Halloweeny, so I picked him up. He's a planeswalker. He's a partner commander. A lot of people don't even know he exists. And I'm having trouble reading him because he's so dark here. He's 4 and a black. He creates thrall tokens. So there you go, Ian. He goes in your
Thralls,
thrall deck.
baby.
So you get to create 2/0/1 black throw creature tokens for +2, and he starts out at 4 loyalty. And then his +1 is you may sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards, and then draw another card if the sacrifice permanent was a commander. We never do that second part. We just sacrifice birds every turn to draw some cards. And that's really all you care about. People actually read the ultimate on Tavesh and get really scared. And I've never done it. I don't try to do it. I just try to get cards. One day it'll happen. So his -10 is gain control of all commanders. Put all commanders from the command zone onto the battlefield under your control. So it is a funny, gross ultimate, but in order to get there, you gotta +1 him
It
6
does.
times.
It does scare
It's
everybody when
not
they read it.
happening.
They're like, "Oh God,
They
number
really
one
get
threat."
scared.
It does. It does distract people though, which is kind of a, an unexpected side effect of it. Like people
Yep.
really hate this thing when it comes down because they think that you're trying to do the -10 and you're not. You're just drawing cards with it, but it's pretty funny.
Yep. Yeah, he's good, and like I said, he gets to like 6, and people are like, "Oh, we got to get rid of Tavesh," and I'm like, "Not really." So pretty funny. Uh, we've got a Warren Soul Traders in there. One of my favorite cards. Love the art. Love the spookiness. It's a zombie goblin wizard. Pay a life, sacrifice a creature, create a treasure token. So I'm happy to sacrifice a ton of birds to this thing. A ton of birds. I don't care. I don't need birds. I want you to have birds. And so we will sacrifice birds and trade them for treasures. All right. Another one. Pitiless Plunderer. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. So, just getting us more of the things we want to do and the way that we want to do them. Let's see. I'm looking at these cards, and I guess the rest of them aren't really thematic. So we'll just go through them. Massacre Worm, great card in this deck, mainly because it's -2/-2. So Massacre Worm, 3 black, 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 6/5. When he enters, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. And whenever a creature your opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. This is a game-ending card. This
Hmm.
card just wins games.
Pretty sure you killed me with this,
I'm sure I did. It's a
or did a
popular way to
lot of
die.
damage.
Deck. Yeah, it's gross. And that whenever a creature an opponent control dies is a static. So that's no matter what, not just the -2/-2 effect. It's just forever as long
That's
as this
just
guy's
your
in.
life now.
That's your life. Speaking of morph cards, we talked about that scornful egotist earlier, and I got a morph card for you, Ian. I know you're a fan. We've got Tribal Force Mage. Tribal Force Mage is 1 and a green, and it's got morph 1 and a green. And it says when it is turned face up, creatures of the type of your choice get +2/+2 and trample until end of turn.
All
Um,
right.
a, Another game ender. Turn your birds into 4/4 tramples and close it out. That's it. Nothing too flashy here. Again, there's probably 6 other cards that you could play. You could play a Craterhoof Behemoth. You could play a Rumbling Baloth or whatever it is. This one's pretty cheap. We don't need to go up much more than +2/+2 on the birds. They already have evasion, so this one's good. Seedborn Muse, very good in this deck because those birds come into play. They come into play tapped, and we want to use those birds for things like generating mana, for sacrificing to things, and so having all that stuff untap every upkeep is very good. But it's not necessary. This is sort of a pricey card. It's in there for the fun. It's in there for like the weird interactions that come up.
Hmm.
Not necessary. It's not two types, so it doesn't really it's not like critical to the game plan. It just creates moments. All right. We've got Sakura Tribe Elder. I like having a Tribe Elder in this deck because we do have some ways to bring things back, and occasionally you want to bring back a Tribe Elder and get another land, and
Yep.
you just have some options there. Again, you could cut this for something else. You could go a different route. It's just sort of replacement level ramp. Jahira, though, is very much needed. Jahira is awesome in this deck. This is definitely your Jahira deck. Jahira is 2 and a green. It's a 2/3. Tokens you control have tap, add 1 green mana. You get to choose a background, but that's irrelevant. So being able to tap your birds for mana, we have 2 ways to do it in here, and this one is fantastic.
I don't see Jahira. Hold on. I don't think she's in your deck list.
What happened?
I don't
What
know.
happened?
I don't know. She's not in here though. But Jahira
She
is
should.
great.
Yeah, she should be in there.
Yeah, Jahira is good.
That's gonna
Tokens have
drive
add
me
a
nuts.
forest. It's good.
Put her in there. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I
Morbid
keep.
Opportunist is the next one. Yeah, now it's gonna drive me nuts because I'm like, what's in there that's not supposed to be in there? Morbid Opportunist is 2 and a black. Whenever one or more creatures die, draw a card, and it only triggers once each turn. But those birds are dying. They die pretty frequently. So
Yep.
you're picking up 2 cards a turn cycle, and that's huge, huge. Morbid Opportunist is always great, but it's especially great when you give your opponents creatures that they really feel burdened by. Get it?
Burdened.
Burdened? Burdened?
Burdened. Eh, eh,
All right.
eh.
Speaking of birds, this is really in here for flavor and a little bit of protection. Revenge of Ravens, 3 and a black. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses a life and you gain a life. People are going to attack the crap out of you with all their stuff that isn't birds. And so this really de-incentivizes that function. And a lot of times in these games, I hate to say it out loud because it's like sort of the sneaky stuff in the background that I think about. But people get so overwhelmed with the bird minigame, they stop attacking with everything else. Or they recognize that they should just attack Jared with everything that isn't a bird. And so Revenge of the Ravens helps tremendously in that way. Ian, I see you cracking smiles over
Yep.
there.
Yep. I have been the person that was like, ugh, I just gotta get pecked at this point, because if I don't attack him, he's gonna just keep loading up the board. And
Load it up.
yeah, and every time you do it, it's offset by one because you're gaining a life. It's great. It's great.
Yep. I think I've cast Renmaw for like 15 or something mana. This deck needs a lot of ramp because people will get rid of them, and you don't really care because the birds are already out at that point. But you're going to get them back out. You're going to keep doing the thing, and so it is kind of funny. This is like an sort of expensive commander. 5 mana is a lot to ask for a commander these days, but oftentimes I'll recast him 4 times in a game. Pretty crazy. All right, Into the Pit. It's another, you can look at the top card of your library card. This one's an enchantment for 2 and a black. You may cast spells from the top of your library by sacrificing a non-land permanent in addition to paying their costs. Sack a bird, play some more stuff, more birds, more things. It's great. Binding of the Old Gods likely gets cut for other removal under a lot of circumstances, but Binding of the Old Gods is very easy to get a hold of, pretty cheap at this point. I remember when it came out, it was considered pretty powerful.
Hmm.
So, put whatever you want in there. But this one does have its merits. You're going to blow up a permanent on stage 1, and then stage 2, you get to search your library for a forest card, put it into the battlefield, and then creatures you control get Death Touch until end of turn is the last phase. Each one of these is useful.
Yeah.
So it remains in this deck. You're ramping, you're destroying stuff, you're kind of doing what you want to do. And 4 mana to ramp 1 is pricey, but again, this you've seen there's so much ramp in this deck. It's like,
Yep.
you're not
Well,
dying. if you don't have it.
Yeah, and the adjacent abilities are also good. I've definitely had this blow stuff. I think every time someone plays this, it's blowing something up that I'm kind of bummed about.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
just straight up permanent. It's great. Revel in Riches is one of my favorite cards, so I look for any opportunity to put it into a deck. It's real mean. People hate it. It's not quite Smothering Tithe, but it's pretty close. It says whenever a creature an opponent control dies, create a colorless treasure token, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you win the game if you control 10 or more treasures. Again, people want to get rid of the birds, so they're always looking to get rid of them somehow, some way. You've got the board wipes and stuff also that can get you a million treasures and win you the game. It's never happened in this deck, but routinely I'll pick up 6 or 7 treasures with this card, which is good.
Yeah, I think this card is funny because they printed it in Ixalan, which is when they also introduced treasures. And
Yep,
I don't think they knew what was going to happen with treasures.
definitely
Um,
not.
so like making 10 treasures is not hard to do at all. Um, and you can easily do that on your opponent's turns too. Like, if you had 10 birds out and Pitiless Plunder, you could just sack them all and then you could win when the turn comes to you. It's
It's
really
pretty amazing.
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yep. Um, you've got all of your token doubling things, and I chose to use Primal Vigor because I just happen to have a copy. So if one or more tokens would be created, twice that many tokens are created instead, and that is for the whole board.
This is really
And then
bad for everybody.
if one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature, twice that many are put on a creature instead. It's just the first part. Let's just get more birds. I mean, this deck is fairly straightforward in its goals. More birds, so we get more birds. Um,
What was it
Next,
when I played I had Anointed Procession out
oh
and
yeah,
it doubled all the birds that you made for me. That was awesome. I just really loved that.
I got really excited about it, and I don't think you realized it and then I was like, time to get out birds, and I was like,
You just handed them
here.
to me so casually. You were just like, "Here's four," and I'm like, "Why are you giving me four birds, dude?" You're like, "Oh, because you have that cool card out there, dude. That's a
Yep,
really cool
it's
card you
awesome.
got."
I love it. I love it for us. This is a group hug. This is another Jared group hug deck. It's just group hug with. All right, we've got Drag to the Roots, which is an instant. It's an interesting card. It doesn't have a lot of homes, and so I decided to take it home and give it a nice family. If you have Delirium, it costs black green, and we almost always have Delirium. So black green destroy target permanent is pretty good. Pretty
It's
good at
good.
instant
I
speed.
really like.
It's
I really do like this card. I really
yeah.
do.
It's I could put many other things in here that would essentially do the same thing, but it's thematic, so I like it here. Um, all right, we got a couple of landy type things, and then we're almost done. Harrow, additional cost to
Hmm.
cast this spell, which is 2 and a green. Sacrifice a land, and you search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. It's a ramp card, nothing too crazy. Mulch is similar. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard for 2. And then crop rotation is actually the best because you're going to go find one of those 2 type lands and get yourself a bird. So this deck wants to use crop rotation, but not in a game changey sort of way.
Is this the
What?
Play-Doh? Is this the Play-Doh card?
Uh, yeah, I guess it is the Play-Doh
It
card.
looks
Heck
like
yeah, it is.
Play-Doh. Look at the little
Yeah,
butt.
baby.
Look at the little butt cheeks on that little guy. Look at him.
So this one came in the Encyclopedia of Magic, um,
Oh,
but
okay.
they decided, because the Encyclopedia of Magic, they were doing all these art styles they debuted, over the history of Magic, and so they did do
This
Play-Doh.
is so
Yeah,
cute.
it's cute. It's cute. All right. We've got a couple of sacrifice creatures for drawing cards
Hmm.
coming up. We got both Village Rites,
Yep.
which gets you cards for 1 mana and a sacrifice, and we got my favorite Deadly Dispute. Also, my favorite art on a Deadly
You just
Dispute.
love Deadly Dispute, dude. That's the card that's not in here. You don't have Deadly Dispute in here either. What's going on with your
What
deck,
the
man?
heck? I don't know.
I
Now
don't know.
this I did put in recently, so I don't know what happened.
Okay. Well, it's not in here, but it's great. Deadly Dispute's good.
Great. And then we do have an Arcane Signet and a Soul Ring. You don't need them. For
Boo.
those of you that are anti
Cut
Arcane
him.
Signet and Soul Rings, get rid of them. You
Cut
don't need
him.
them. Cut them. And then last but not least is a very classic card, but in this deck you use it in a very specific, non-traditional way. It's Coat of Arms. And this Coat of Arms I probably got when Ninth Edition was out. This one's been in my binder for a long time. Um, Coat of Arms, for those that don't know, is 5 mana. Each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature in play that shares a creature type with it. And so if you got 5 birds total out, all of the birds are 5/5s. If you got 6 birds total out, all of the birds are 6/6. And so the symmetry of Coat of Arms is usually not a problem because you're usually not playing the same typal as the rest of the table. But in
Mm-hmm.
this deck, it's a real problem because that's everybody's
It's
birds are going to be
it's
huge.
it's a real problem.
It's a real significant
You're in a
problem.
real
Uh,
sticky situation.
Sticky situation. Now, if you play it with a ton of birds on the table, uh, and you still have 4 opponents, it can be quite effective, but it's dangerous. The game is going to end quickly, and you're going to go heads up, and you want to make sure that you can close it out for you. And so you got to be very careful. You got to hold up, a board wipe or something to play it out this way. But it is doable. You could do it. You can cause crazy stuff. Everybody's got 7/7 birds. They don't know what to do with themselves. It's chaos. And this deck was based on Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, and so that's the vibe I'm looking for. Um, the way that I really play this is on the turn that I want to win, I'll play Coat of Arms so that my birds get the most benefit and I close out the game. So it's almost like a slow combat trick. It's a main phase combat trick that basically wins you the game.
It's
And that
great.
was the birds deck, man.
That's it?
That's it. We did
Dude,
it.
it's so good. And I just, as someone who's played this deck, I do always find it fun to see somebody's personality come out through the deck that they make.
Yep.
Um, and this is like 100% you. Like if just summed up in a deck, like horror movie fan, group hug player, um, just like
Azurian player.
total Azorius. Yeah, like it really sums you up super well. And I love it for that reason, mostly because it's like I truly am playing against you. Much like, decks I build similarly, like it's an expression of myself, as it were. So it's awesome. And if you do ever end up playing Jared with this deck, he has like the coolest tokens that he's printed for this deck. And I know some people are not big fans of proxies, but I think tokens, at least in my mind, get somewhat of an exception, because they're tokens. And people use freaking lighters and who knows what for tokens. I mean, I was watching a stream where a guy was using a lighter uh as a token, which was wild. Um but yeah, Jared, tell us about your tokens real quick, because I think that's also a really special part about the deck.
Yeah, so again, the deck was based off of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, and so I made some tokens that sort of went with the movie. But then I got into a weird, like, I just am a movie. I'm a cinephile. I love movies, and not just horror movies, but all movies. And
Yeah.
so I started making other tokens that are from movies. And so, like, this one is the scene in American Psycho where Christian Bale is
Oh,
looking at his in the
I
mirror.
switched it over to the other camera. So if you're showing them, show them up to
Oh,
the your main camera.
okay. I could do that. Hold on. So there's the Alfred
Nice.
Hitchcock bird.
Classic Hitchcock scene. Yep.
Here's the American Psycho with him checking
Mm-hmm.
out his muscles.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some redundancy, just Burns
Yeah,
terrorizing
of
cows
course.
or terrorizing ladies. Um, we've got kind of a weird bird busting out of an egg thing that was like I feel like I was going for Alien a little bit, but then it just became absurdism. Uh, Terrorizing an old, an old
I do like that the
fisherman.
sailor could give two
He doesn't
shits
care.
about that.
Yeah,
He's
he's
just like,
great.
whatever.
Um, Calling mom.
Colin. Yep. Yep. Hmm.
My favorite movie of all time is not a horror movie, but it is a great movie. It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and so I have them
Nice.
joyriding the red car. What else? I've got Fight Club over here. You know, um, there's a famous scene in.
He's got like 30 of these things. So he like
I've got so many.
I've never seen you actually run out of them. Um,
Yep,
you've gotten close though. I have seen you get close.
I have gotten close. I'll show you two more. This one's like a riff. He's doing
Yeah,
his
putting
little
on the
Broadway show.
Ritz.
Yep. And then Goodfellas is another favorite movie of mine, and so this is the mobsters as birds. This is the funny like a clown scene.
Yeah, that
Uh,
bird on the left is terrifying because it's like half person.
yes. So that's the bird deck for you, and it's I think I have quite a few decks people don't love playing. In the birds deck, people they won't just be like, ugh, I'm not playing it. They sort of groan a little bit if they've played it a few times, but it is a fun format. Like it is a format changing deck. You do enter into a bit of a Hunger Games type of mini game when you're playing
Yeah,
against this. So I do find that people generally are tolerant of the birds deck. It's technically a bracket two, but it performs really well. So I don't mind playing it at a bracket three table at all.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah.
It does well. I've never seen it not do well. You actually won even when I stole your commander. And that was, I think, a cool moment for you because you were like, oh, I can play this deck without the whole titular aspect of it and you still won the whole game. So that
Yeah,
was
I was convinced that this deck just had one plan and didn't have a bunch of Swiss Army knife
yeah,
style flexibility. But yeah, that was a big game for
yeah,
us
yeah,
friends. You took my commander, and then I had to sort of work around it. And
yep.
it was a historic game.
Twas indeed.
Was. Now I
All
do
right.
have Carl's here. Should I show
Yeah, show
Carl?
off Carl. How's Carl doing? Is Carl getting bigger?
He's Dude, he's like at least double the size
It's
he
a,
was
I
last
mean,
time.
Carl's a Maine Coon, so he's gonna be a big boy when he's all grown up. Hey, Carl.
Carl, he's like
Oh man.
he's cool. He's chilling, and yeah, just look. He's already like those mitts, man. Those
Yeah, look at
mitts
him, just perched up.
perched
He's
up.
a
He's not gonna be
big.
able to do this when he's 30 pounds, but
He'll try. Maine Coons are kind
he'll
of known
try.
for that. They'll still climb on you.
Yep. So there he
Look at him.
is.
Look at him. Oh,
Where you
dude.
where you going, Carl? You going
Just
over here?
finding a better spot.
He's like, I'm
All
out of
right.
here, man.
Well,
See ya.
we're done with deck tech. Um, Jared, do you have any final words that you wanna take us out with?
Let's just do a quick plug to Constant List. You've seen it. We've been using it, every stream. It's the reason we're all here. And so I won't do a full ad read tonight, but I will remind everybody we are a community, local community in Austin, and we started this project to support our community. We wanted to make a website that is just strictly better than all of the deck building, collection building websites out there for Magic. No ads, no nonsense, easy to use, intuitive. And I've just been thrilled to see this project evolve over time and then turn into this podcast. And, we have a show now, Constant Misplays. We have Rough Draft on Tuesdays. Like, this is really turning into kind of a total network for Magic. And that's thrilling. But it all started with constant lists. It all started with a desire to make a Magic the Gathering tool online that was great and better than the rest. So, quick reminder: please use it. Let us know, what's not working, what is working, what you like, what you'd like to see. Our turnaround time on that, really, it's Ian's. I shouldn't be claiming any sort of functional presence in this way, but Ian turns around a request or a bug report with ease very quickly. It's 2026, y'all. We can make those moves fast. We've even done it in the middle of a stream. And so,
Yep.
again, let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you like. Let us know if you don't like it. If you still use Moxfield or EDH Rec or any of the alternatives, tell us why. Help us figure it out. We want to crack the code. We do have a Patreon. There's a $2 level. There's a free level. You can also help us out just by subscribing to our socials, by
Yep.
interacting with us when we stream, chatting us. Really, any amount of talking to us that sort of promotes the site and promotes what we do for our community
Yep.
is all we really care about. But if you're willing to do more, we got a $2 tier, we got a $5 tier, and an $8 tier. That helps us with server costs and upkeep. At this point, we're just trying to break even on keeping the lights on.
Yep.
And thankfully, our sponsor, Big Deck Energy Gaming, has really done a lot to get us over that hump, as well as our awesome Patreons, which we are constantly thinking of ways that we can continue to give back to that group. And so more to come on that. But y'all have made this all possible for Ian and I, and we're just thrilled to have everybody here.
Yep. Ditto. All that and more. Just very thankful for the group, for the community, everyone that shows up. I know Zixa, you showed up. I saw you wave in chat when we were finishing up deck tech. Just a lot of familiar names and faces and supporting people for us, and it just means the world to us that you've chosen to hang out with us and spend your Thursdays here and a lot of other time with us in other different venues and ways of chatting and hanging out. So just very meaningful. Thank you so much for all your support always. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel for our Thursday stream. And then on Tuesdays, Zach should be back for I'm sorry, for Rough Draft. And then we also have Constant Misplays that'll be coming up this upcoming Wednesday. And Constant Misplays is our recorded gaming that we're doing, and there's some good content I think that you'll all enjoy coming out in there as well. So thanks again for another great night. Thank you all for handling our technical difficulties. It's clear that Zach is very good at his job. And we can't wait till he's back. But he gave us the best instructions he could, given all the other things that can happen behind the scenes. So thank you all for coming. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you all very soon.
See you
Bye.
soon, everybody. Bye.